Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 2 is finally here. Today we will be showcasing all the new mythic bosses, mythic weapons, medallions, vault locations, along with some of the secret Easter eggs, hidden map changes, and of course, a bunch of free rewards that you guys do not want to miss. And if you guys want to be gifted the Season 2 Battle Pass or any of the awesome skins dropping into Fortnite's shop, all you have to do is drop a like, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on, and leave your epic usernames down in the comments below. But diving right into the new mythic bosses and weapons, the first of which is our boy Fletcher Kane, who unlike other mythic bosses in prior seasons, doesn't actually have a set in stone spawn location, but instead will randomly spawn at any of the 5 vault locations found around the Season 2 island, which don't worry, we are going to be showing all of these locations and how to break into the vaults later in the video, but he will be a little bit tougher to find as it is random where he will be located. But if you guys manage to find the Fletcher Kane boss and take him out, he will drop the Baron Double Down Mammoth Pistol, which allows you to shoot twice before having to reload, so it is pretty powerful, along with the Unstoppable Medallion, which will knock back enemies that you sprint into and also increase your sprint speed. So this will drastically speed up how fast you can move around the island, and this is definitely going to be one of the more sought after medallion abilities every single game. Along with that, he will drop a Chug Jug to reheal after you fight him, but based on all the mythic bosses we're going to be showing in this video, Fletcher Kane is actually one of the easiest to take out in my opinion. The second mythic boss on Fortnite Season 2's island is our boy Shogun X, which a lot of people are confused about considering after last season's live event we did see him get eliminated and removed from the island, so it's kind of strange that he did return. But just like last season, Shogun X's mythic boss will spawn on the floating islands that spawn onto Fortnite's map halfway through the game. So kind of similar to Fletcher, you're gonna have to find these islands, and the spawn location won't always be the same every match you play. But if you guys do find Shogun X and manage to take him out, he will drop the mythic version of the Hollow Twister Assault Rifle, one of the better ARs this season in my opinion, along with the Super Shield Medallion, which will spawn a Bubble Shield Jr. around you anytime you are using a healing item for extra protection. The only thing that's bad about this is if you are trying to heal and be stealthy, having a big bubble shield spawn around you might give up your location, so there is some trade-offs for this medallion. And just like Fletcher Kane's mythic boss, he will also drop a Chug Jug to reheal after you fight him, which Shogun X is definitely a little bit tougher to take out than Fletcher Kane. And for the third and final mythic boss that you can find actively on Fortnite's island, it is our boy Sub-Zero, which interestingly enough is not technically a mythic boss, but just an NPC that is located on a hillside right outside of the Kane's mansion, which is known as Lone Wolf Lair. If you guys go up to him, you can talk to him, he will give you shield, there is special dialogue, but you can fight Sub-Zero. And just a heads up, this guy, although he's not a mythic boss, is by far the hardest one to fight and take out because he does use his new Sub-Zero combat kit Ice Fist as weapons. And you guys can see here that if you do engage and try to take him out, he will fight back. He is very powerful, each melee does a lot of damage, and he's also very quick. So you're going to want to make sure you are pretty well looted before trying to take out Sub-Zero's new NPC. But if you guys do manage to take Sub-Zero out, he will drop the Sub-Zero combat kit weapon, which although isn't a mythic, still comes in a purple rarity and does a ton of damage, so it's definitely worth it. It has some abilities built in as well, which can be used for mobility around the island. And now that you guys know where all the new mythic bosses and weapons are located, we could dive into the brand new vault locations, which were drastically revamped in Chapter 6 Season 2, but they do hold some special medallions and abilities that you guys want to make sure you can take advantage of. So in total, there is 5 vault locations currently on the Season 2 island. They are located at Masked Meadows, the Metro, which is the train driving around, Lone Wolf Lair, Crime City, and finally Seaport City. These are all the points of interest that have the main 5 vault locations, and in order to break into these vaults, you will need the new thermite grenade, which you can find around Fortnite's island in the go bags. They are pretty easy to acquire, and unlike prior seasons where you just went up and used a key card to access it, you actually have to plant a thermite grenade and go through a few different waves of NPCs spawning. So it's kind of like a mini boss event where you need to take out all the enemies while the thermites slowly break through the vault vault, but once you are able to break in, these vaults are actually very valuable. And the main reason is because these vaults all have the brand new Dilbit medallions located in them, which unlike the mythic medallions that the bosses that we looked at earlier in the video give you, these don't actually give you any special abilities, but the Dilbit medallions can be used at the brand new black market locations that are also found around Fortnite's island. There's 3 in total, currently located and known as the Boom Hole, the Rogue Repairs, and finally the Blackwood. And you guys can actually see little icons on your Fortnite map whenever you open it, so in case you guys are struggling to find where these are located, it will show icons once you obtain the Dilbit medallions from these vaults. Also, make sure to add us on Snapchat for more giveaways, daily news, and special item shop gifting. And what's really cool about these black market locations is these allow you to use gold to buy different rarities and weapons that you can't normally find in the traditional loot pool by opening up chests. And what's awesome is if you guys do acquire these Dilbit medallions, these will allow you to obtain mythic and exotic versions of these special weapons. So this is another way to obtain a few different mythic weapons and higher rarities that are not available in the normal loot pool, nor can you get from the other mythic bosses. So that's why the Dilbit medallions are so valuable. And if somehow you guys manage to break into all 5 vaults, the most you can obtain in one game is 10, which would allow you to buy up to 10 different mythics. So there's literally so many per lobby that you can't even hold all the loot that it is potentially able to give you. Now, it is worth noting that there is a 6th vault known as the Armored Truck Vault, but unfortunately, unlike the other main 5, once you break into this one using the thermite grenades, it will not have any of the Dilbit medallions, but it will drop you a mythic version of the suppressed pistol with a ton of bonus heals, which is obviously very useful for getting your loot up, especially if you're trying to use this early game to loot up initially. We also have an early showcase and gameplay of an upcoming mythic known as the Pump and Dump, which is actually the mythic dual-wield shotgun and SMG combo that we saw featured in the Season 2 launch trailer. The reason we say this is early gameplay is it was confirmed by data miners that Fortnite was not supposed to add this into the loot pool until March 11th when we get our first downtime update of Chapter 6 Season 2, but someone made a mistake and actually added it to the loot pool at the launch of Season 2 only in Team Rumble, which is how we were able to find gameplay and see what this looks like in game. So this looks like it'll be a very effective mythic, and unfortunately this is the only way you are able to dual wield a shotgun and SMG is by getting the mythic Pump and Dump version, which will be dropping in our next update in 2 weeks. We also have 5 brand new mythic boons added to the loot pool for Chapter 6 Season 2. In no specific order, these new mythic boons are known as Vulture, which will reveal where enemies are eliminated on the map for a short time. The Gold Rush boon, which opening or destroying chest grants a gold rush, which from here actually multiplies the amount of gold you obtain by 2. So this can be very useful for farming gold if you guys are low. The third boon is known as Adrenaline Rush, which is gain the slap effect for a short-term unlimited energy regen upon mantling, hurdling, and wall jumping. We have the Gold Ammo boon, which is gain ammo when picking up gold bars. And finally, we have the Greed Mythic boon, which is find extra bars from eliminations and opening containers. So majority of these boon abilities are based around getting gold or something to do with the new gold currency, which is very valuable because you can actually spend these at the black markets and upgrade your loot. And how you guys actually obtain all 5 of these new mythic boons is not by taking out the mythic bosses or finding them in chests, but using the Dilbit medallions at the black market locations themselves in order to get them. So instead of using a Dilbit medallion to get a mythic version of another weapon, if you think it's more worth it, you can spend a Dilbit and actually get any of these 5 mythic boons. And it also depends on what black market location you go to, as all of them have different mythic weapons, exotics, and boons available. So this is really cool because you can really decide and customize your loadouts based on how many Dilbits and gold you have available per game. But diving into some of the Easter eggs and secret map changes found in Chapter 6 Season 2, if you guys make your way over to the Lone Wolf Lair, which is obviously the mansion belonging to our boy Fletcher Kane, alongside having a vault location where his boss could potentially spawn, there is a few Easter eggs if you make your way down to the bottom of the basement. The first of which is that you will find the giant face statue that we saw at the bottom of Lost Lake last season can now be found in Kane's basement as a collectible. And this thing is actually massive. We don't know how this guy got this thing out of the lake, but it is cool that it's still available to be seen on Fortnite's island especially because we had no explanation last season as to what this even was. Some more Easter eggs found at Lone Wolf Lair do belong to Kane himself, and they're actually paintings that you guys can find on the wall that showcase Kane Fletcher in different poses, but you guys might realize right away that these paintings and poses are actually directly inspired and copies of iconic scenes from Leonardo DiCaprio movies, which are obviously The Great Gatsby and Django Unchained, which, as a side note, if you guys haven't seen either of those, I would definitely recommend giving them a watch. Banger movies, but these scenes in particular from the films have been used for memes and GIFs for many years, so of course Fortnite added some Easter eggs and made our boy Fletcher Kane basically do copy poses of Leonardo DiCaprio, which I thought was pretty funny. We could also see over at Shiny Shafts that there will be a secret tunnel opening, most likely added in our next downtime update dropping March 11th, but if you guys go into replay mode and go down where this little excavator is located, you can actually morph through this wall and it reveals a massive tunnel system that will be getting added in our next update. It's actually very long and there is a bunch of additional chest spawns in here, and this opens up the possibility, especially at this point of interest, for many more secret tunnels and areas of the map to secretly get added as the updates start to roll out throughout the rest of Chapter 6 Season 2. We could also see that the construction on the Shining Span point of interest and bridge is officially complete, and the bridge is back to 100% built after our boy Godzilla absolutely wrecked it and destroyed it last season when he was added to the game. And we did see that once Godzilla was removed, construction started happening, but it appears that it is officially done and is now safe to cross the bridge again. And finally, you guys can still see that the Great Turtle along with his girlfriend are still on the island, which I know a lot of people are going to enjoy. The Great Turtle made a lot of friends throughout last season, but unlike last season where he was moving around, data miners did confirm that the turtle along with his girlfriend are not going to be moving. This is their final location for Chapter 6 Season 2, so him and his girl can finally enjoy some deserved peace and quiet and not have to move around the map getting constantly disturbed by us. With all that being said, that is all I got for you guys today. That is all the known Easter eggs, mythic bosses, weapons, and new gameplay mechanics you guys need to know for Season 2. If there's any more Easter eggs or secrets you have found, let us know down in the comments, but don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, my friends.